If you've ever felt like you're doing all the right things for your health, the supplements, the routines, the advice, and yet something still feels off, this video is for you. Because modern wellness has taught us to chase fixes, not understanding. We're taught to outsource our health to experts, to protocols, to trends, instead of learning how to listen to our own bodies. Ayurveda offers something very different. It isn't a trend, it isn't a diet, and it certainly is not a set of rigid rules. It's in fact a user manual for your body. And today I want to show you how to actually use it in modern life without becoming overwhelmed, extreme, or disconnected from yourself. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you will know exactly where to start this week itself. Hello and welcome. My name is Tajbet. I work with Ayurveda and yoga as lived, embodied practices, not philosophies that stay on the mat or in books. My work is about translating ancient wisdom so it genuinely supports modern nervous systems, modern lives, and real responsibilities. In this video, we're going to explore three things. First, why so much modern health advice leaves people confused and disconnected. Second, what Ayurveda actually is in a grounded and practical way. And third, how to begin using it gently without outsourcing your intuition. This isn't about doing more, it's about understanding yourself better. Now, let's be honest, we live in a time of too much information and very little integration. One week, it's this superfood. Next week, it's a new supplement. Then a morning routine you're meant to follow perfectly. And when it doesn't work, the conclusion is often, I must be doing it wrong. But the real issue isn't you. Most modern wellness advice is symptom-focused, one size fits all, and completely disconnected from context. It rarely accounts for your energy, your stress, your digestion, your emotional state, your season of life. And over time, this creates a quiet mistrust in your body. Your body stops listening and start chasing. Ayurveda begins from an entirely different place. I didn't come to Ayurveda because it was trendy. I came to it because my body was speaking. Heck, it was shouting, and no one seemed to be listening. I struggled for years with digestion that never quite felt right. Migraines that would come and go, hormonal imbalances that were often brushed off as normal or as just part of being a woman, completely unexplained. I did what most people do. I went to doctors, ran tests, followed advice, and while nothing was technically wrong, nothing was truly resolved either, and it just didn't feel right. What changed everything wasn't a supplement or a new protocol. It was, in fact, learning how my body is meant to function and recognizing when my system was under strain, out of balance, or overloaded. Ayurveda gave me a framework to understand myself, why certain foods didn't suit me, why stress showed up in my body the way that it did, and why my symptoms weren't random. Once I understood my own nature and how I move out of balance, my body stopped feeling like a mystery that I had to fix and started feeling like something I could actually work with. That's when Ayurveda stopped being theory and became a language I could use in real life. It doesn't ask, what's the fastest fix? It asks actually, who are you? And what are you responding to? Now, Ayurveda is one of the oldest systems of health in the world. It originated in India thousands of years ago, developed alongside yoga as a living science of life, not as a belief system, but as observation, practice, and experience. And while its roots are ancient, its relevance isn't. It's timeless. At its core, Ayurveda is the study of how your body, mind, digestion, emotions, and environment interact. It's not about perfection. It's not about control. It's about relationship, a relationship with your body, a relationship with your rhythms, a relationship with cause and effect. And this is where Ayurveda and yoga are never meant to be separate. Yoga builds awareness. Ayurveda shows you how to apply that awareness to daily life. One without the other is incomplete. It doesn't fully land. Now let's talk about the 3 foundational principles that make Ayurveda practical. Not complicated, practical. Number 1 is your nature, which is known as your dosha. This describes your inherent tendencies, your energy patterns, your stress responses, how you naturally move through the world. Some people are quick, light, and mentally active, whilst others are intense, driven, and sharp. Others can be steady, grounded, and consistent. Ayurveda doesn't label these as good or bad. Let's just make that clear. It gives you a language to understand your baseline, so you stop forcing yourself into systems that just don't fit you. This is where self-trust begins. Now, the second is all about your digestion and metabolism, which is called Agni. Often translated as digestion, but it's much more than just about food. Agni is how you digest meals, yes, but it's also about how you digest emotions, experiences, information. When Agni is strong, you feel clear, energized, and resilient. When it's weak or erratic, you might experience bloating, fatigue, brain fog, or even overwhelm. Now, Ayurveda teaches that no practice truly works if digestion, physical or mental, is compromised. And the third principle is all about accumulation and overload, known as ama. Ama is what builds when life moves faster than you can process. Undigested food, unprocessed emotions, unfinished stress. And ama shows up as heaviness, stagnation, inflammation, and dullness. And here's a key insight that most people don't always get, that we don't need more stimulation, that we need less accumulation. Now, the big shift happens when we go from outsourcing to self-trust. This is where Ayurveda quietly becomes revolutionary. It doesn't ask you to follow rules, rather it teaches you to read signals. Instead of asking, what should I do? You begin asking, what is my body communicating right now? This is where awareness practices like yoga and breath work truly matter, not as a performance, not as a productivity tool or as a way of losing weight, but as a way of listening. You do not need to get this perfect. You need to get curious. For me, this shift meant realizing that my migraines weren't random, my digestion wasn't broken, and my hormones were certainly not mysterious. They were communicating, and I finally had tools with which I can properly listen. Now, let's make this tangible. Here are 5 simple practices you can begin this week, not as rules, but as experiments. And you can pick 1, 2, or all 5, whatever suits you. Eat roughly at the same time each day. Even imperfect regularity supports digestion. Second, notice hunger versus craving, and there's no judgment, just awareness. Third, begin the day warm water, a few conscious breaths, stillness before stimulation, before you pick up your phone, please. Third, pause once before reacting. Let your mind fully digest before responding to something. And then observe your energy, your rhythm. When are you naturally alert? When do you want to slow down? This is Ayurveda in real life, stopping, pausing, listening, noticing. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What is your biggest health confusion right now, the thing you've tried to fix but still don't fully understand, share it in the comments with me. You are not alone in this. Here on this channel, we'll continue exploring how ancient wisdom supports modern life through the body, the breath, the mind, and the rhythms that we live by. Thank you for sharing your time, energy, and presence with me today. May you always be guided by your inner wisdom and light. See you in the next video.